Guatemala City, the sprawling capital of Guatemala, is a place where ancient legacies and modern ambition converge in striking contrast. Known locally as Guate, this vibrant metropolis stands as the political, cultural, and economic heart of the country, nestled in a highland valley at over 1,500 meters above sea level. Surrounded by volcanoes and lush mountains, the city presents a dynamic and complex portrait of Latin America, marked by colonial relics, bustling commerce, striking inequality, and rich indigenous heritage. Though often overshadowed by more famous Latin American capitals, Guatemala City is a city of movement and change, grappling with its past, striving toward the future, and revealing its depth to those willing to look beyond the surface. With a population of around 3 million in the metro area and more than 1 million within city limits, Guatemala City is the largest urban center in Central America. It is divided into 22 zones laid out in a spiraling pattern, each with distinct characteristics, from the stately government buildings in Zone 1 to the residential neighborhoods and business districts of Zones 10 and 14. While poverty and crime have shaped parts of the city's reputation, Guatemala City is far from monolithic. It's a place where colorful markets thrive beside modern shopping centers, where indigenous Maya traditions meet urban innovation, and where resilience is not just a virtue but a way of life. The city was officially founded in 1776, following the destruction of the previous capital, Antigua Guatemala, by a series of devastating earthquakes. This relocation marked the beginning of Guatemala City's central role in the nation's political and administrative affairs. Over the centuries, it grew into the hub of education, government, and commerce. Spanish colonial influences remain visible in buildings like the National Palace and the Metropolitan Cathedral, but the city's skyline is also increasingly dotted with high-rises and contemporary architecture. Today, Guatemala City is a key player in Central America's economy. As the economic engine of the country, the city contributes significantly to Guatemala's GDP, which relies on services, industry, agriculture, and remittances. The local economy has diversified in recent decades, with strong activity in finance, telecommunications, manufacturing, and retail. Zones 4 and 10 have emerged as creative and commercial centers, attracting startups, technology firms, and co-working spaces. The city's Zona Pradera Business Complex and World Trade Center reflect its growing role in international commerce. One of Guatemala City's most notable challenges is inequality. Luxury apartments and gated communities can be found just a few kilometers from impoverished settlements on the city's periphery. While some residents enjoy access to private schools, healthcare, and international businesses, many others live without reliable public services. This disparity underscores the complexity of development in a rapidly urbanizing society and highlights the social issues that continue to shape urban policy and community life. In terms of education, Guatemala City is home to the nation's most prestigious universities. Universidad de San Carlos de Guatemala, one of the oldest universities in the Americas, offers education to thousands of students across a wide range of disciplines. Meanwhile, private institutions like Universidad Francisco Marroquín and Universidad del Valle de Guatemala provide high-quality programs in business, economics, medicine, and engineering, often with international partnerships. These academic centers attract students from across the country and even neighboring nations. Healthcare infrastructure is also centered in Guatemala City. The city hosts both public and private hospitals, including the renowned Centro Médico, Hospital Herrera Llerandi, and Hospital Roosevelt. While public hospitals serve the majority of the population, they are often under-resourced. In contrast, private healthcare in the city is modern, well-equipped, and staffed by highly trained professionals, albeit accessible mainly to the middle and upper classes. For those considering moving to Guatemala City, housing options are varied. Upscale neighborhoods like Zona 14, Vista Hermosa, and Cayala offer modern condominiums, secure gated communities, and proximity to shopping, schools, and green spaces. Rents in these areas can range from $600 to $2,000 per month, depending on size and amenities. In contrast, more modest housing is available in working-class districts, where rents can fall below $300 per month. The city's real estate market has attracted growing interest from both domestic investors and international buyers looking for value in an emerging market. Safety is a frequent concern when discussing Guatemala City, and the issue deserves an honest look. The city has struggled with high crime rates, particularly gang violence and petty theft, concentrated in certain zones like 18 and 21. However, much of the violence occurs in specific areas not typically frequented by tourists or expats. In neighborhoods like Zona 10, Zona 15, or Cayala, crime is considerably lower, and day-to-day life is similar to that in many Latin American cities. As in any large urban area, caution, awareness, and good judgment go a long way in ensuring personal safety. Despite its challenges, Guatemala City's cultural scene is both dynamic and deeply rooted. The National Theater, designed by famed architect Efrain Resinos, is a brutalist masterpiece and home to performances ranging from ballet to symphonic concerts. Museums such as the Museo Nacional de Arqueología y Etnología and Museo Popol Vuh showcase the country's rich pre-Columbian heritage and colonial history. At the Ixchel Museum of Indigenous Textiles and Clothing, visitors can explore the artistic expression of Guatemala's 20-plus indigenous groups through intricate weaving and traditional dress. Street art, music festivals, independent cinemas, and literary cafes are redefining urban creativity, especially in Zones 1 and 4. These areas have become centers for artists, musicians, and entrepreneurs seeking to revitalize historic spaces with fresh ideas. The city's calendar is filled with cultural events, from Holy Week processions that wind through the city's colonial streets to film and jazz festivals that bring in audiences from across Latin America. Guatemalan cuisine is another window into the country's cultural identity, and Guatemala City is the perfect place to explore it. From simple street food stalls to upscale restaurants, the city offers an impressive culinary landscape. A staple dish is pepian, a rich, spicy stew made with chicken or beef, tomatoes, and a variety of roasted seeds and spices, considered Guatemala's national dish. Tamales, chiles rellenos, jocon, and caquic are also local favorites. In the city's bustling markets like Mercado Central and Mercado La Terminal, you'll find an array of tropical fruits, fresh tortillas, and roasted meats sizzling on open grills. For international fare, Zones 10 and 14 are filled with trendy cafes, sushi bars, steakhouses, and vegan eateries. La Estacion, a converted train station in Zone 1, now hosts gourmet food trucks and pop-up restaurants offering both Guatemalan and international cuisine. Cafes serving locally grown coffee from the highlands, such as Antigua or Huehuetenango, provide the perfect spot to unwind while experiencing the country's most prized export. Public transportation in Guatemala City is a mix of formal and informal systems. The Transmetro, a modern bus rapid transit system, is one of the most reliable and affordable ways to get around. With dedicated lanes and elevated platforms, Transmetro buses run on several key routes and are heavily used by daily commuters. The Transurbano and city buses serve other areas, though they can be confusing for newcomers. Taxis and ride-hailing apps like Uber and InDriver are widely available and preferred by many residents for convenience and safety. While traffic congestion remains a major issue during peak hours, recent investments in infrastructure and road improvement projects aim to ease the burden. Additionally, the city's La Aurora International Airport connects Guatemala City to destinations throughout the Americas and is a critical hub for business and tourism alike. When it comes to tourism, Guatemala City is more of a gateway than a destination for many visitors heading to Antigua, Lake Atitlan, or Tikal. But the city itself holds unique attractions worth exploring. The historic center in Zone 1 features the Palacio Nacional de la Cultura, the grand former presidential palace turned museum, and the nearby Catedral Metropolitana, a massive neoclassical cathedral dating back to the 18th century. La Sexta Avenida is a pedestrian-friendly street lined with shops, cafes, and theaters, offering a vibrant taste of urban life. Further afield, the Camino Juyu archaeological site reveals the remains of an ancient Maya city buried beneath modern neighborhoods, an important reminder of the city's deep indigenous roots. In the eastern part of the city lies the posh Paseo Cayala, a planned urban development designed with a Mediterranean-style town square, luxury apartments, boutiques, restaurants, and open-air parks. Although Cayala is often seen as a symbol of inequality, it also represents a vision for a more walkable, organized urban future. The cost of living in Guatemala City varies widely by lifestyle. For those living modestly, monthly expenses including rent, food, and transport can stay under $800. A more comfortable lifestyle in safer neighborhoods with private healthcare, international schooling, and upscale dining might push monthly costs closer to $2,000 or more. Still, Guatemala City remains more affordable than most North American and European capitals. Perhaps the most compelling reason to visit or live in Guatemala City is its people. Guatemaltecos are known for their warmth, resilience, and deep cultural pride. In a city often challenged by inequality, environmental issues, and political unrest, the spirit of community remains remarkably strong. From artists revitalizing abandoned buildings to local volunteers supporting youth programs in disadvantaged zones, Guatemala City pulses with a quiet determination to create something better. As the capital continues to grow, it faces critical decisions about sustainability, urban planning, and inclusion. Climate change, migration, and corruption remain pressing concerns. Yet, in the face of these issues, Guatemala City is not standing still. It is evolving, step by step, zone by zone, into a capital that reflects both the richness of its heritage and the ambitions of its people. In the end, Guatemala City is a city of many faces, historical and contemporary, chaotic and creative, wounded and hopeful. It is a place where contrasts live side by side, where every street tells a story, and where the future of a nation continues to unfold. Whether you're a traveler, investor, student, or someone curious about Central America's hidden urban gems, Guatemala City invites you to explore, engage, and discover a city unlike any other. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Guatemala City, be sure to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. What part of this complex city intrigued you the most?